Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another wonderful vid. And in this one, I'm going to be basically talking about the differences and the pros and cons of, I don't know how to demonstrate this, live music versus recordings, right? We're going to kind of talk about each, break each down, talk about how they compare to each other, the whole 9 yards. Now, almost everyone who's watching this clearly listens to music much more recorded than live music. I think the only people who hear live music more than recorded music would be people who either it's their job to play music. Maybe, you're in a symphony or something, or you're in a band and you're a touring band that gets paid, yada, yada, yada. But it's pretty unusual. Most people are going to hear much more recorded music than live music. Yes, there is the odd exception, but for the vast, vast majority of people, you're going to hear a lot more recorded than live music. So, we're going to talk about live music first. So, what do you get when you listen to live music? Well, really, there are some hugely great things about live music that can't be replicated listening to a recording or even a recording of live music. You get a bit of because you're there while the music's happening, you're there in the moment, right? Which is great because it can be a very visceral, thrilling experience to see your favorite performers, doing songs that you love. It really is absolutely fantastic to experience that, right? That's something you don't get with recorded music. Also, of course, the event of going to the concert, right, is typically, there are upsides and downsides to the concert-going experience. The upside is the atmosphere, the camaraderie of the shared experience, all that stuff. Again, seeing the musician. But there are some downsides to going to concerts, too. One, a lot of them are in small clubs that honestly, where they kind of overcrowd people in. They're extremely hot and unpleasant. And let's face it, if you are a person like me who likes music of the heavier genres, it tends to be a bunch of sweaty dudes, not beautiful women, which would make it a lot better. It's generally sweaty dudes. And yeah, it's like 1,000,000 degrees in there, and and one time when I went to a concert, when I saw the mighty Slayer, my car got towed because I made the mistake of parking in a spot where my car would be towed. Now, I parked there unawares that would happen because when I parked, I was so eager to get into the show. This is my fault. If I had, simply turned around, I would have seen a sign that said, no unauthorized parking, people will be towed, blah, blah, blah. So that's totally on me for missing that, but still, my car got towed and I had to pay, the ransom fee of $100 and some odd to get it out, not to mention the taxi ride over there. And this was back in like 2003, so, it's before the days of smartphones, and yeah, so it was a little more work to get my car back then. Real pain in the ass. Yeah. And of course, so again, but of course I went to tons of concerts where nothing bad happened. Now we're going to talk about the actual, sound of the music, or audio fidelity. Generally, concerts are so fucking loud, you have to cram earplugs into your ears. At least I do. Because back when I was a much younger person, I went to some concerts without earplugs, and as a result, I now have permanent minor tinnitus because of it. So every time I go to a concert now, I throw in the earplugs, and that will, in addition to it being so ridiculously loud, obviously having the earplugs in, I miss out on some of the frequencies, so the actual, for lack of a better term, audio quality doesn't live up to my home stereo. I know it's going to sound silly, like, wow, how can, you're roughly $1,200-$1,300 worth of equipment, how can it sound better than a, hugely, insanely expensive sound system? It compared to that, it does, because largely those PAs and all that is all about just producing sound at a giant volume, right? Much louder than what my home stereo can do it, but the actual fidelity doesn't tend to be the best thing that I've ever heard. So that's really, that is kind of the concert going experience, right? You go there, and of course the other downside is, well, you have to get in your car, drive there, wait in line, yada yada yada. It's a lot less convenient. Not to mention if you want to buy any sort of refreshments, $6 for a drink or $6-7 for a drink, obviously we're getting into some major money spend there. So anyway, that's the concert going experience. Now let's talk about recorded music, right? Now, what does recorded music offer over live concerts? Well, clearly convenience. First and foremost, you can listen to a recording anytime, anywhere you want to. You don't have to go to a specific place to do it. It is incredibly convenient. The audio fidelity, generally, on my $20-some-odd pair of headphones, my monoprice 8323s, it sounds better audio fidelity wise than any concert I've ever really been to, sadly. And it's not bursting my eardrums out and making me cry for mercy, right? To listen to an audio recording, I don't have to be around a whole bunch of sweaty, smelly dudes. I don't have to worry about my car getting towed. All of the things, all the downsides of a concert aren't present if you're listening to a recording. Now, of course, listening to a recording, you don't get that visceral excitement of a concert. Of course. I mean, that's lacking, and you get an approximation of a performance with a studio recording. It's not a pure performance like a concert is, but it is more, for lack of a better term, precise, and that's because, of course, they do a whole bunch of takes, they edit it down. It's basically a constructed piece of, it's like, instead of a spontaneous creation, it's something that they spend a lot of time crafting and getting it exactly right. So it's definitely a different experience. As for me, which do I prefer? Well, I do enjoy both. I do enjoy going to concerts, but if somebody said to me, pick one, you can only do one or the other. You can either only go to concerts, only listen to recordings. Of course, I'm going to choose recordings. Duh. I listen to recordings all the time and only seldom go to concerts or experience live music, as it were. So anyway, that pretty much wraps this up. I'd really be interested to hear what you guys think. I'm sure you'll let me know. Anyway, that's it. If you like this, thumbs up. If you hate me, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time.